It's 10 o'clock. I'm going to call this August 19th board meeting to order and ask you to please stand for the pledge to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Seeing no changes to our agenda, the recommendation on the agenda.
Madam President, I recommend the board to approve the agenda.
I have a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
I make the motion to approve the agenda.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Superintendent's report.
Thank you, Madam President. I've got a few items to run through briefly. First of all, I have a student academic matter that I would like to ask the board to consider in executive session. I'd like to give everyone an update on enrollment. This was going into this year, we weren't sure about enrollment, but we have actually increased by 132 students as of 8 o'clock this morning when I looked at it. It's constantly changing, but we finished last school year at 34,239, and we are actually up to 34,371 total. And I know across the state of Mississippi, there was a decrease in enrollment, a short decrease last year. We only went down, I think it was 500 students last year. So I don't know what it would be like statewide, but it was encouraging to see that our enrollment actually increased from what we finished last school year. At this time, I have a measure that I would ask the board to approve. It is, I'll read this to you. I'd like to recommend the board to hire up to 4 full-time substitute teachers to work for DeSoto County Schools at high priority sub-rate of pay. These would be teachers that we would, substitute teachers that we would hire, and they would be, where we would assign them each day. We would pay them the same amount as the high priority subs. And Mr. Alexander will be getting information to you at later days as far as how those will be assigned out. But this time I'd like to make that recommendation to you.
Do I have a motion to approve this?
I make that motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank the board for that. Also, and the reason with that is just because of with COVID and we want employees to stay at home, they have symptoms, and we'll be talking about sick leave later on today. This will give us more options when it comes to substitutes, and so we'll do all we can to help our schools, because if we have 3 or 4 teachers who are out in time, it creates some difficulty. So I appreciate the board looking out for our teachers there. Also, all of you have a handout that I gave to everyone just a few minutes ago. I'll read this handout to you. I recommend the board that Fernando High School return to in-person instruction on week August the 23rd. The mode of instruction will either be a hybrid model or 100% in person. I'll pause right there. A hybrid model is being considered as we speak in Jackson State Board of Education meeting. So if that is approved by the state board today, then that would be an option next week. That's the reason I've got both of those down there. The rest of it, the mode of instruction will be determined by the principal. If the principal uses a hybrid model, he'll be able to continue to use the hybrid model until he determines the faculty and staff are prepared for return to 100% in-person instruction. And so, are there any questions? Do I make that recommendation? Okay. I'll make that recommendation.
Do I have a motion to approve this recommendation from the superintendent?
I make that motion.
Have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. And so we will announce either later today or tomorrow the day that they will return. It'll be at some point the upcoming week. And we'll announce that to parents, and also we'll announce to parents the mode of instruction for this hour in person. Thank you. And making sure that I got all my paperwork. Yes, that concludes it.
Attorney's report.
Yes, ma'am. Let me just make one quick comment. In my view of what's going on in the state, you guys are not alone in this, trying to deal with the COVID and the issues, and I want to commend y'all on what y'all are doing. So, we just take it one day at a time, but as far as litigation issues, the potential litigation there, that address. Second section.
Yes, okay.
I just want to piggyback on what Mr. Keith says. I mean, our team has been working very hard, and when I say our team, I mean our school staff, teachers, administrators, and also district level, and that's any kind of support staff we have. Say team DCS, I mean, it's been challenging because as we've learned since March 2020, every day is a new day and every day is a new challenge, and our employees have really stepped up and doing all they can during this challenging time to make sure their students receive the best education possible. So just want to take this, I know our board already knows that, but I'd like to say that every chance we get, we just appreciate it.
Thank you. And I'd like to add that to the public, we board members all have children, grandchildren, or children who teach or are principals in the schools. So we are all very aware of what's going on all the time. The consent agenda from item A to YY through recommendations.
Madam President, I recommend the board to approve the consent agenda.
Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented? Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Business request to pay purchasing issue through DeSoto Central High School. Mr. Williams.
Yes, ma'am, in your packet, is a letter from the principal of DeSoto Central High School explaining the error that occurred with the payment schedule change with their athletic training. The issue has been addressed with all parties involved. Mr. Johnson, that you pay $4,000 from the school's activity fund for the services rendered.
Recommendation, sir.
Madam President, I recommend the board to approve the request to pay the vendor for the personal rule issue at DeSoto Central High School.
I have a motion to approve the purchasing rule issue.
I make that motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Third.
And a third. Okay, all in favor? Aye. Thank you, Mr. Williams. We're just not accustomed to this. One down. Ms. Graves, statement of revenue and expenditures for June 2021 preliminary.
June, we have until October 15th to totally continue closing out the year, so June is always preliminary, as we're moving things to eat up federal funds and things like that, so it will not change overall or materially, but it will change slightly. So I do want to say first, I want to thank, all administration, the board, it's going to be a very good report to you. And, we try and predict until we get to that bitter end, and we have 2 months of teacher payroll in there, because I hope it all turns out like I think it does. But the very conservative spending, the fact that we do live in Southern County, which has been very good as far as continued growth, June's going to be a very nice report. So our general fund revenues received through June are at $273,691,918. We ended up 3% over last year. Last year we were at 266, 283, 365. All revenues received were at $339,004,561. Overall, we were up 7%. Last year was at $317,998. And all of that can be attributed to our increase in enrollment. So we saw phenomenal growth even through COVID. Our additional MAEP, and then all the additional federal funds that we received, all the ESSERs and all that. So the revenues, that's where that's from. Our general fund expenditures, and this is where the conservative spending comes in. Our general fund expenditures were $251,585,923. we were up only 2% at 245,901,149, but we were 4% lower than what we budgeted. So that's really neat. All fund expenditures were at 366,609,349.
I'll ask this question. So, you said expenditure 251 million. There's not many operations where you say that was a conservative amount of money that was spent. So, that just shows you how big of an operation this is.
Yes.
And Ms. Graves and her team do an excellent job of making sure that and we had this conversation just yesterday, Ms. Graves and I did, about the reason we're so conservative is so when you have times like this, you can do certain things that are needed. Make sure you help the teachers and your students and administrators. I appreciate that.
Thank you. Your recommendations are preliminary June 2020.
Madam President, I recommend the board to approve the statement of revenues and expenditures for June 2021.
That effect.
Make that motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Statement of cash flow. Preliminary.
Our district maintenance cash balance at June 30th is 114,687,343. The invested balance with Smith Shellnut, 28,626,317, and I think we increased about 143,000 just from May to June. So that was fabulous. Our other funds cash balance is 161,150,141.
The recommendation on the cash flow.
Madam President, I recommend the board to approve the statement of cash flow preliminary June 2021.
I have a motion to approve the cash flow June 2021.
I make that motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Combined balance sheet. Ms. Graves?
The preliminary fund balance for all general funds is at 116,644,247. We ended up 10% over last year. Last year we were at 105,708,917. And our all funds fund balance is 139,997,265. You know, last year was a great year. This was a super great year. But that does lead to what Mr. Russell was saying, that we're already making plans for next year and the next, and how to put this back to the classroom to the teachers. And so we're very grateful to have that. But we do, that's something we do eventually want to, understand. But we were very fortunate with all the federal funds. We were able to just shift expenditures and make sure that we're great for that rainy day and for future.
Rainy day. Hope we don't have too
We've had
much.
two big ones.
Yes. Your recommendation.
Madam President, I recommend the board to approve the combined balance sheet for June 2021.
I have a motion to approve the combined balance sheet for June 2020.
I make that motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, Ms. Mr. Alvin.
First in the packet, morning, pages 1 through 7 are recommendations. Pages 8 to 11 are personnel changes. Page 12 is a provisional memo on the following employees that have not been awarded the Mississippi Educator license. Yeah, I will say it's something we started to roll them out, which can be removed like this. Page 13, memo for myself on the request to revise the 21-22 salary amount for a junior ROTC instructor. Mr. McGinnis submitted a revised minimum instructor pay to the United States Marine Corps. And put their JROTC salary to establish per the National Defense Authorization Act. Page 14 is a memo for myself for approval for an additional floating nurse unit for the 21-22 school year. This addition will actually be paid by ESSER funds, and it'll be on the 187-day registered nurse scale. Page 15 is a memo for myself for approval for the district to provide up to 8 administrative leave days. These will be administrative paid leave days. This will be for employees that test positive for COVID-19. They provide a positive test results from a medical provider and are quarantined according to the district's guidance chart. Administrative leave will be provided for the employee who will retro that back to July the 1st. Since we started, it will remain for any period of time which the governor state of emergency remains intact. Page 16 is a memo for myself. It's an approval for the district to provide 4 additional sick days for positions that are currently eligible to receive sick leave. These additional sick days will be granted the 21-22 school year, will not be provided school years for this school year because of the pandemic. Administrative leave should help the employees that test positive. This should then also give a little help and relief for those that are caring for family members. Page 17 is a memo from Mr. Kirkendall, Director of Accountability and Research, on approval to reclassify the 200-day intervention specialist position in Leesburg Middle School to 187-day position. The salary is based on 187 licensed salary scale. We paid the district funds. This was one of the last people that were on the 200, so they were spent other than, so that was open now with everybody else on 187 contract. Page 18 is the memo from Ms. Rippling, our Director of Secondary Education. It's on a literacy coach at the middle school. Ms. Connect will work 40 hours in central services to create structure for middle school ELA modules from July 26th to July 30th, $27 an hour. Ms. Connect was inadvertently left off the addition page 1, which previously submitted for approval. Page 19 is a memo from Coach Jenkins, our Director of Athletics, on the volunteer paraprofessional who will assist with coaching for the school year. It's with Centerville High School cheer. Page 20 is a memo from Ms. Scott, our Director of Special Education. She's requesting to split an open full-time psychologist position, 2 part-time positions that would work up to 19.5 hours per week. Page 21 is a memo from Ms. Hallmark, our Director of Child Nutrition, the following team leaders who will receive a $255 supplement, monthly supplement for operating after-school meal programs. Page 22 is a memo from Ms. Hallmark. So request for additional day of work to be added to the team leaders and team members at DeSoto Central Primary and Lewisburg Middle. Team leaders would work the 187 days, and team members would work 185 days for the 2022 school year. The issues there with DeSoto Central Primary, the delivery truck was delayed in delivery, so they had to work an extra day. It came in and loaded stock it, and then Lewisburg Middle School, the kitchen was not fully ready on receiving days, and staff had to work an extra day there to get up and ready to go. Page 23 is a request for additional pay for this guys for an employee who will work SPED homebound services for DeSoto Central Primary. She'll work a max hours, 4 hours a week beginning August 5th and ending May 31st, 2022. They pay $27 an hour. This one's request for additional pay was left off the last board member, and that's on me. I did that. I inverted up that page off. Page 24 is a request for additional pay from the senior director of federal programs for a teacher at Fort High School who will work as an after-school tutor, SPED student to need extra academic support for a total of 100 hours beginning August 20th and ending June 30th, 2022. We paid a rate of $27 an hour. Page 25, request additional pay for this evening for teachers at South Haven High School who will work as after-school tutors for students who need extra academic support. They will work a total of 1,000 hours beginning August 20th and ending June 30th, 2022. They will be paid $27 per hour. Page 26 is the list of all those teachers who will be working the program. Page 27 is request additional pay for Ms. Hassel, Assistant Superintendent, on revision of a math specialist who was originally approved to teach 2 sections of dual credit for Lake Conroe High or Lake High. However, due to the amount of students who have signed up for the course, she will now be teaching 3 sections. She'll be paid at $2,500 per section for a total of $7,500. She'll be paid at 5 monthly installments from August 5th, 21 to December 17th, 21. Then your last 2 pages for handouts. Page 28, 29. It's requested the Board of Education approve the district to pay substitutes $100 per day for high priority school vacancies. These locations may change daily and will be determined by schools with a high number of teacher absences. Rates for high priority school vacancies will be effective beginning Monday, August 23rd, and continue throughout the 21-22 school year. The current substitute rate, $82 per day, will remain for non-high priority school vacancies. Then your last page shows a breakdown of the DeSoto County School sub-pay with a contract and
Recommendations, sir, on personnel.
Madam President, I recommend the board to approve personnel as presented.
motion to approve the personnel that's been presented.
Make that motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, Mr. Alexander. I now need a motion to go into executive session for the attorney matter, the litigation, for the student matters. Do I have a consideration motion to go into executive session?
I make that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. We stand in executive session. Mr. Chase will come back and take your chair change.